This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and this is Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And there are no games in the NHL today. No games? What do we even do with ourselves? No, it's okay. It's American Thanksgiving. I was gonna do the sad voice, but we got things to watch. And what better time to take a look at teams who are in need of a little Thanksgiving treat in the form of some wins. But perhaps the real treat would be losses and better odds in the draft lottery. Right now, 3 Canadian teams are in the bottom 16, and only 6 points or 3 wins separate the Oilers in 17th and the Preds and Blackhawks in last place. The 2 Canadian clubs closest to the basement, and with the best chances of making a run for the first overall pick, are the Habs and Sens. No, this is not where these two teams wanted to be this year, as the expectations for both franchises were playoffs or at least compete for a playoff spot, not the first overall pick. But so far it's looking grim. For Montreal, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to land a top pick. Nick Suzuki, Yaroslav Koski, Cole Caulfield, and Lane Hudson have been proving that they're pieces you can build around. That said, the franchise has had a top 5 pick in each of the last 3 drafts. And if you're a Habs fan, at some point you want to see them win some games. For the Sens, this was supposed to be the year the playoff drought finally ended. They brought in Linus Ullmark to fix their goaltending, and that just has not worked how they imagined. He's 62nd in goals saved above expected this season, while Anton Forsberg is 33rd. Their stars have showed up, with Stützle, Tkachuk, Batherson, and Norris producing at a high level, but they just haven't had the goaltending to complement it. Since they drafted Tkachuk, the Sens have picked outside the top 10 just once, and it's looking like that's not going to change this year. Now, Sens and Habs fans, you just need Nashville, San Jose, and Chicago to start getting some wins. I suppose it's a consolation prize for being bottom of the basement, but I did expect more out of both of these Canadian teams. To the NFL, and depending on when you're watching us, the Lions game is just about to or just went final. And the Cowboys and Giants are playing in one of the worst quarterback matchups in Thanksgiving history. But thank God for that night game, as Dolphins-Packers is a legit game to close out American Thanksgiving. And the main storyline ahead of tonight is the weather. It's looking like we're going to be dealing with -4 at the kickoff, but not much of a chance for snow tonight. And those wind gusts of 36 kilometers an hour could be a problem. Looking at Tua historically, playing in the cold is an issue, as he's 0-4 in all games, playoffs included, when the temperature is 4.4 degrees Celsius or lower. And as we just showed you, yeah, tonight will be one of those games. But let's dive deeper into this and look at the splits. He's got a 4-to-5 touchdown pass to interception ratio in games that cold. And I get it, no one really likes to have to perform in the cold, but Tua, people from Saskatchewan are watching you. And in case you're wondering why we came up with such a strange number at 4.4 degrees Celsius, it's because we got that stat from the NFL, who does their stats in American temperatures, aka 40 degrees Fahrenheit. We would politely ask on this American Thanksgiving for y'all to grow up, okay? It's called the metric system. Why would you not want 0 to be the freezing temperature? Everything starts at 0, you go up or down. What? You don't make any sense. For the Dolphins' sake, they need this Tua trend to break tonight, as they're currently sitting in the 8th spot in the AFC playoff picture. They do, however, have the 6th easiest remaining strength of schedule, while the team they're chasing, the Broncos, have the 12th hardest. But don't write off the Colts, who are 2 games behind Denver for the playoff spot, but their remaining opponents have a winning percentage of just .298. That is easiest in the NFL by far. And you can watch the Dolphins and Packers tonight on TSN at 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific. And don't forget about the Black Friday game tomorrow, as the Chiefs host my Raiders at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. A game you can also watch on TSN. Time now for my favorite segment on yours, Why We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
And every once in a while, NBA in-arena entertainment gives us an absolute gem. And that's what we got in Memphis last night, when this dancing turkey suddenly stopped at the sound of the Undertaker's music. I have not watched this clip yet, I don't know, but if the turkey stops and the Undertaker music comes out, I would assume it knows the end is near.
Wait a second.
The accepting of defeat was a little morose, I'm not gonna lie. For 40 years, TSN has been a proud partner of Special Olympics Canada. And this year, we're celebrating that milestone. We are now joined by Canadian Olympic gold medalist Patrick Chan, who's been working with Special Olympics Canada for a while now. How did you get involved with the program?
Oh boy, it started a long time ago, this partnership, and I think it just came to fruition very organically. And obviously, it helped being performing at the highest level, having a lot of exposure, and I think all I tried to do was work hard and like get to my goals and make the national team and maybe go to Worlds and then the Olympics and but I think most importantly, like I always tried to be like a good ambassador to my country, and I think it's a big responsibility. And I was lucky enough to connect with Special Olympics and be, I think, one of the first on the Champions Network. And it's been an amazing partnership.
The next Special Olympics are in Turin in March. What advice would you have for Team Canada ahead of the Games?
Oh my goodness. First of all, what a beautiful place. And I've been to Turin before. I've competed there. The Olympics in 2006 were there. I didn't get to go, but I got to go to the World Championships the year after. So it's a beautiful place. And I think that's the first thing. Just take it in, enjoy, like absorb it. Don't get too carried away with the results, and I think embrace the highs and the lows, the wins, the falls, the mistakes. That's all part of the experience, and it's going to make you a stronger person, a more capable, confident person, no matter the results. And I can vouch for that, and I've lived it. And I had many wins, but I also had many disappointments, and 5-6 years removed from skating now, I can look back and I actually embrace and enjoy the failures more than I remember the wins. So yeah, just control the controllables. Don't get carried away with things that are out of your control, like the other competitors. Just focus on your performance.
Special Olympics Canada delivers year-round world-class sports programs to people with intellectual disabilities daily in communities across Canada. How have you seen some of these programs change lives?
Thank goodness for programs like Special Olympics, because these athletes wouldn't have a platform and they would be alone and just not able to do sports. That's something that I fell in love with at age 5. I started doing sports. My parents pushed me to do it, and I loved every single sport I did. And it's still, I can still pick up the tennis racket now and play just for fun, casually. So sport has just changed my life, and the community that I've built around me is from skating and from sports has been irreplaceable. And I think to give these athletes that experience and I was lucky enough to go on tour with Tess and Scott on Rock the Rink, and we had a Special Olympian spotlight every single show across the country, and we wanted to give that opportunity to these athletes, and I hope that it helps them build confidence, independence, and just self-belief. And it's such a vulnerable moment to get on the ice by yourself in front of an audience. And I got to witness every single show an athlete kind of overcome their fears. And we were there like backstage, holding their hands before they went out. And every single time these athletes were like, they were like ready, and they were just like focused, laser focused. And we didn't have to help them at all. They were just like professionals right off the bat. And I don't know if that was planned or I don't know if they prepared, but they were just naturals at it. And I think it's so important to give these athletes that opportunity, because we wouldn't know that their full capabilities or abilities if they didn't have those chances.
Patrick Chan, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks.
That's it for me today. We'll see you our pick and tomorrow at 3 Eastern, New Pacific. Have a good one.